Hey, Mike Healy here, and I have a quick update for you. This is kind of going out to my team, but I'll probably put this out there publicly as well. But I want you to get up to speed on a brand new project that's about to launch, that it's not out there yet. It's launching in March, but I want to give you a heads up on it because I think it's going to absolutely blow your mind, and it's going to bring a lot of the stuff together that we've already been doing. Okay, so I'm doing this on green screen because I want to walk you through a few things and kind of talk to you directly and explain some stuff. Now, there's two basically things going on. We've got the marketing division, the marketing side, which is through IX Global, who's just absolutely rocking it. And that's how we get in, and we pay a subscription so that we have the ability to purchase these mining licenses through DEBT, DEBT, which is the page I'm showing you right now, which stands for Decentralized Eco-Friendly Blockchain Technology. It's basically a list of projects that what we have the ability to do is buy licenses on. And as all of these projects produce revenue and royalties, that's what builds the value in the tokens. Okay. Now, before I go any further, because if you understand this, it's going to really rock your world as to the potential and the power of what we do, which is mining tokens versus just buying tokens or buying cryptocurrency or digital assets, whatever. It's really, really important that you understand this, because if you look at this from a perspective of a long-term hold, or even, you can obviously cash these out immediately if you wanted to, but just, I want you to follow me here, is I use this example in a PowerPoint. I'm pulling it up now, obviously, about buying tokens versus mining tokens. Most everybody's familiar with Bitcoin. You're probably familiar with it, obviously. It was kind of the flagship of every crypto out there. Everything kind of is paired with it as far as like watching all the industry go up or down, that kind of thing. Now, the difference is if you buy a token, or you buy, let's say, a fraction of a Bitcoin, because you don't actually have to buy a full one if you're familiar with that. What happens is that you own that percentage, or you own that fractional and fractional purchase of a Bitcoin, but the price is whatever the market says it is. However, you only own that one thing. Okay, so if you buy it at $10 and it goes to 12, you're up a little, right? But then all of a sudden next day it goes down to 9, you're down a little, right? That makes sense. The difference is that in my example that I'm using right here is when you buy a token versus having the ability to buy software that mines tokens. It's like the goose that's laying the golden egg, or versus buying the egg. So the token itself is the egg, but getting mining going is the goose that's laying more eggs. So if in this example, instead of just buying a Bitcoin, what if you had software that mined Bitcoins? Okay, so that's where we're at as far as what these projects mean. So let me go back to this. Now, what the company DEBT has is, DEBT is not necessarily a company. I'm sorry. They're a project, okay, that is multifaceted in multiple industries that have come together to use their royalties to transact, digitally, right, with the blockchain. That's kind of what it is. So kind of like everything that is done with credit card swipes, and somebody gets paid basically on the merchant account side. That's similar how you could kind of look at it in your head if you're not super familiar with this. Okay, and again, I'm not a crypto expert, and this is nothing here is investment advice or anything like that. I'm just showing you what's going on, and I want you to follow me here because this is going to really, really be exciting for you. So first project, or one of the biggest projects they have, is the main token that they have, or the mining project, is the DEBT token itself. And you can look at all the light papers. I'm going to breeze through a couple of these because I want to show you some of the new ones, and then I'm going to tell you about the brand new one coming. You got black gold, which is attached that has everything to do with physical oil. Okay, black gold is physical oil. That's oil wells that are associated with it. And as royalties come in, they use that to purchase and use for the cryptos on this exchange. Okay, so that's what's really cool. You've got Grow, which is dealing with high yield agriculture. You've got natural gas, which is obviously NatG, which is natural gas. Explore is our satellite one. Absolutely love this one. Digitally linked gold. They're doing actually a few tweaks on this one. It's been going great. I own one of these, but they're going to do something I think is going to really rock it. Aluminum, obviously you know what that is. And then recently, just the last month or so, they released two really, really breakthrough ones, in my opinion, called the BEV, which has to do with beverage distribution, and Blocks, which is commercial real estate. Now, again, if you click on these light paper things right here, what it'll do is it'll actually open the PDF up to where you can see exactly what these projects are doing. It'll show you everything that you need to get a full understanding of the significance or the potential that these projects have. Okay, and let me go back to this one. And then the blocks real estate one is probably one of my favorites because all transactions that are being done on these commercial real estate projects are going through this this token. Okay, so what's happening is we have the ability to earn on this. Now, I'm going to take you into my debt account real quick. So what happens is let me show you this before I go in here. You have the ability to get a subscription. As you know, you get a subscription. You pay whatever, $50 a month or $115 if you want to learn some more. You go into the back office, you click on purchase add-ons, and then this will take you to the X nodes, is what we call them. And then down here, you're going to see the different types of projects you can purchase. So since I'm going to get ready to talk about blocks, if I wanted to buy one license for a blocks, I've already purchased 2 of them, and they are, what would that be? I think they're running about $2,000 a piece at the moment. Okay, and that includes hosting, that kind of thing right there. And then all I do is add them to cart. They're not that much. I've already bought my singles and my seconds and so on. So if I wanted to buy 3 more of them, it would be 6. So it's $2,000 currently at each price. And I go back there. But anyhow, so as an example, I own 3 blocks that I've purchased. And then I can go in and look at this, and every day this thing right here does a thing what we call mining a token. Like back to the Bitcoin example, it's mining a token. So if you understand this, I own an asset. In my opinion, what it is the digital asset is the software license. Okay, I own software that I've purchased perpetually that has a perpetual license for 10 years, 4,000 days approximately. Okay, and now every single day as transactions happen on the blockchain, I'm paid royalties, or royalties are coming in, and I am rewarded for operating this mining license software, basically turning it on so that so transactions can go through it. I'm rewarded by getting tokens. Now I have done absolutely nothing to generate a balance, right? And then what's cool is as this thing grows, once it gets up to about $250 worth of value, I just cashed it out, so it's only at 93. But yesterday with 3 licenses, with doing absolutely nothing, it mined in today's current market value, this is the important part, about $35 worth. Did absolutely nothing for it besides I purchased a license a month ago, maybe not even a month ago, and every day. Now, if I go to my wallet and then I click on blocks right here, you can see right here with my blocks account that I've withdrawn in a month. I got 3 licenses, and I actually got them when they were only $1,000, and they actually grow and go up. That's already produced. So I have my software license that I've done nothing besides just purchase it, and it does all the mining every single day. And then has at the current market value is $900 worth of tokens that have been mined. So I did nothing for that, and that's what I have sitting there. And I've got different projects that have different values in them and so on. And I go in, like as an example with the BEV, again, bought a BEV. I'll blow that up a little for you so you can see it better. I bought a BEV, did absolutely nothing for it, but I have this amount of tokens in here and so on. So what I think is important to understand is, like, if we look at the blocks, the current token price is 0.0029. Well, what would happen if I have this many of these tokens, right, that have been mined over the last close to 30 days, and this decimal point just happens to move over because more and more projects are going through it. Like if we click on the light paper and we scroll down, we're going to see where everything's going. It shows in here how big the industry is, what the blockchain projects are going to do. They're looking at over 500 million in transactions and collecting the fees on those. And because I'm doing absolutely nothing, but I've activated a license allowing their system to transact on the blockchain, which is the digital ledgers that are basically, that's what's so nice about it. It's decentralized, so no one really can control it, like privately or that kind of thing. It's open source kind of almost, that you can see it. It's an insanely awesome project. Okay, now let me talk to you just about the new one, and I'll kind of wind this down. The brand new project that's coming out that will be listed on this page eventually is going to deal with, it's called swipe. Okay, what happens? What do you think of when you swipe something? It's a credit card transaction. Okay, now what's happening on March the 1st, right around there, don't hold me to this, but this was said on a private leadership call I was on, that the swipe, there's going to be a debit card, or kind of credit card, but with MasterCard, that is going to come out, okay, through a massive Bank of Scotland that is going to run this, that you can take fiat currency, basically the paper stuff, and you can transfer it into that debt or the debt card, and use that for transactions. We'll be able to take our back office commissions. Like if you look here, I haven't cashed this in a week or two. I've got this much sitting in my withdrawal wallet, which I can take out as commissions. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of just, I'm waiting for this new project to come out because I'm gonna get some more licenses with it. But what's happening is the commissions are going to go on there. That's the commissions you earn for like referring licenses to people and so on. They're obviously they're going to reward you for your word of mouth. But what's happening is we can buy hosting with this card. We'll be able to go to the grocery store with this card, and everything's going to go on this card if you choose to use it. Now, on March the 15th, so a couple weeks after that, the debt, which I'm showing you now here, the project's right here at the bottom of this, what's going to show up is it's going to be a brand new swipe token license that will be available. What that means is, what they said on the call, the leadership call I was on, is that they are going to take the royalties, I have it written down, the royalties from the bank fees are going to be what's funding or using of the value, increasing the value of that swipe card. And again, what happens when we buy a license? I buy a license, and back to this, I bought it. I could either buy a token, which you can go and buy a token, or I buy a license, which is this right here, and it's making tokens. Okay, that's why every morning for fun, I go in and I look at these things. I look at these projects, and if I click on one, like I click on XPLR, actually I'll show you one that's kind of cool, the NatG, the natural gas one, because it mines tokens like crazy. Right now it mines about 15,000 tokens a day, and you can see this in real time. I'm talking to you, I'm not doing anything, but keep an eye on that. You see that change? I did nothing but increased the value of what's in my account because they just own a license. Are you getting this? Okay. Now, obviously, somebody, if they wanted to, could cash these in for current market value, and that's what they would get off of those right now. If I cashed in what's sitting here, all right, that's actually not what it is. If I go in my wallet and look at what I got into my NatG, right? I got a little here because I just started these projects, so this isn't, we're not going to go out there and buy a Lambo at this point, okay? But what I'm saying is, with what's happening on these, and by the way, even though a lot of these show in the red, what's nice is when they do drop a little bit, the company is buying them up and they do a burn, which creates that scarcity event, which is an important, what do you call that, deflationary protection for these projects. Okay, so I literally see this as I go in, I buy a blocks, I do nothing besides buy it, watch it mine every single day, and accumulate. Okay, in my opinion, accumulation right now is probably a smart thing. Again, I'm not an investment advisor, I'm not a crypto expert or anything like that. I'm just giving you what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm accumulating these, because now once the debt card comes out, I'll be able to take, if I wanted to, I could take those, transfer them into the debt tokens. Debt tokens are going to be able to be transacted on a card, which is going to be transacted through the swipe token. Are you getting the big picture here? Okay. So here's what I'll tell you. These projects are fairly new. Okay. I think they just rolled these out, most of them. The oldest project is the Black Gold, which sold out already. Nat G already sold out. Okay. So these projects are going to sell out. Like these aren't, they have, when a token project comes out, they have a finite amount of licenses that you have the ability to purchase. So timing's everything. And depending on when you see this, hopefully you're on my team and you see this, you get in, you get set up, you pick what you want. We can have some conversations about what might be the best thing for you, kind of give you an example. Again, not giving advice. But what's exciting about these projects is the upward potential, okay? Because if I look, last thing, I know I said that probably an hour ago. Last thing is the fact that, I got a button pop up here, is if you look at where everything is right now, based on the rise of the dollar, which is plummeting, you've got the stock market's not in a good situation. You've got where debt right here. I actually, this is a thing I just pulled up, a slide showing what people's savings were, and the red is people's credit card debt. There's some crazy stuff going on right now, and you need to have, in my opinion, you've got to be paying attention. You got to take ownership of what you're doing with your finances. And what I like is what I'm doing is I see these as basically digital assets that are allowing me to get involved in industries that I typically wouldn't be able to with maybe the large size of capital. Like as an example, I would not, or you and I would not be able to get into large commercial real estate in a lot of cases and capitalize on what's happening, right? Wouldn't it be nice? What this does is allows us to actually get our foot in the door, in my opinion. Because I remember the reason I got so excited about this product specifically was about a year and a half ago. I was studying cryptocurrency and where it was, and I remember hearing about NFTs and all this type of thing. And the pretty much the guy that's an expert on there, I mean, he trades like millions and millions of dollars worth of this stuff, and he was stating that there's coming the time where banks are not going to operate like they used to, if at all, and that the things that are going to happen on the blockchain, because it can be instantaneous, it can be immediately looked at, that kind of thing. It's open to look at because you can go and see every single transaction on the blockchain, and also all of the like digital things, the assets out there that we would normally have to go through banks to do, will be going through NFTs, digitalized stuff, that kind of thing. And it's just a new technology, and you gotta get up to speed on it, okay? And I really see something here, in my opinion, that's completely unique. And again, you don't ever want to, just as a last thing, is you don't ever want to put in any money you don't think you could lose, because there's never any guarantees on anything. But do your due diligence. Like, if you want these light papers, you can get a hold of one of us or somebody that shared this with you, and you can go in and you can read the whole project. Okay, you can look at all the different things, how many times that they're going to, what they call halve, how often they're going to do a burn. Like they just did a burn on the tokens where they burned like a couple million tokens on our counts, which is, again, scarcity makes the value go up. Really amazing project. So I wanted to get this update out there because if you really understand what we're doing here, you're probably going to want to be a part of it in some capacity. Okay, and it doesn't take thousands of dollars to do it or anything like that. They actually have rentals where you can, for $250, you can get a rental of these, which lasts, you can get tokens mined for like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, depending on the projects. But in my opinion, from a longer term perspective of where I see these things going, such as the blocks, the bev, aluminum, all these, I would suggest I'm doing a little bit of a longer term hold, because I see that. And what's happening though, as these values continue to go up, what's nice is as these tokens are mining and mining and mining, and if we look at it one more time, this thing might not go from mining to where it's $35 a day. What if some of these digits over here move to the left, or that decimal point moves to the right, and now that goes up to, X. It's instead of it being 0.002, what if it goes to zero point 0.2? What would that number look like at that point? Okay, so use your imagination on this stuff. Do your due diligence. Got questions, reach out to whoever showed this to you, or obviously myself. And I'll tell you, very unique projects. You want to take a look at this. Don't underestimate what we have our hands on here, or what you're seeing for the first time. Even though it might look a little bit like, hey, there's a little bit, oh, it's going over my head. The internet went over a lot of people's heads years ago, but everybody's on it right now. When the iPhone came out, went over everybody's head. When BlackBerry came out, then iPhone came out, and then iPads came out. Now we got AI technology and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's moving in that direction. You just have the ability to be in it kind of on the ground floor early, and you know the significance of that. So don't say I didn't tell you. All right. So anyhow, if you got questions, reach out to me, anybody else on the team, and we can help you get those taken care of. And I'll see you on the other videos. Thanks.